Wait, stop. Before you spend another $1 coin, look at it carefully. Face screaming in fear, what if that ordinary dollar is hiding a rare mint era, a legendary collector's variety, or coin that serious collectors are desperately searching for? Today on RE Coins News, we're exposing the shocking secrets behind America's most talked about $1 coins. Don't blink, because the next coin you see could be the most unforgettable discovery in your collection. Let's get started. Step 1. The moment this golden-colored coin first appeared in American pockets, it captured attention unlike any modern dollar before it. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary $1 coin, but behind its shining surface lies a fascinating story of history, innovation, and collector excitement. The 2000p Sacagawea golden dollar was introduced as the beginning of a completely new era for United States coinage, replacing the unpopular Susan B. Anthony dollar with a fresh design that honored one of America's most respected historical figures. While millions were produced, only a small number have become true collector favorites because of unusual varieties, mint eras, and exceptional preservation. Today, many collectors carefully inspect every 2000p Sacagawea dollar they find, hoping to uncover one of these remarkable treasures. Unlike many coins that celebrate presidents or national symbols alone, this dollar tells the story of courage and exploration. The portrait features Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman who played a vital role in helping the Lewis and Clark expedition travel across the American frontier. She is shown carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, symbolizing hope, guidance, and the future of a growing nation. The reverse displays a soaring eagle surrounded by 17 stars, representing the states of the Union at the beginning of the 19th century. Every detail was carefully chosen to create a coin that was both historically meaningful and visually different from every previous circulating dollar issued by the United States Mint. When this coin entered circulation in the year 2000, the United States Mint wanted Americans to embrace dollar coins once again. Instead of using a silver-colored alloy like the Susan B. Anthony dollar, officials developed a unique golden appearance that immediately stood out. Surprisingly, the coin contains no real gold. It is made from a manganese brass outer layer bonded to a pure copper core, giving it its distinctive golden color while keeping production costs practical. This innovative composition also made the coin more durable for everyday use, allowing it to remain attractive even after years of circulation. One small letter on the coin carries enormous importance to collectors. Just below the date appears the letter P, indicating that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 2000, Philadelphia produced hundreds of millions of these dollars, making ordinary circulated examples common. However, within that enormous production came a handful of fascinating mistakes and special varieties that transformed certain coins into collector prizes. This is why experienced numismatists never judge a Sacagawea dollar by its face value alone. They examine every detail before making a decision. Perhaps the most famous discovery connected to the 2000p Sacagawea dollar is the legendary Cheerios dollar. Before the coin officially entered circulation, thousands of cereal boxes included a free Sacagawea dollar as part of a promotional campaign. Years later, collectors discovered that some of those promotional coins displayed enhanced eagle tail feathers that differed from regular circulation strikes. This subtle design variation became one of the most celebrated modern coin varieties in American numismatic history. Because only a limited number exist, authenticated examples have sold for thousands of dollars depending on condition and certification, making them among the most desirable Sacagawea dollars ever discovered. Another famous variety sends excitement through collectors whenever it appears. Known as the Wounded Eagle variety, this coin shows what appears to be a long raised line across the eagle's body on the reverse. The unusual mark resulted from a damaged die during production rather than post-mint damage. Although not every raised line creates this variety, genuine examples authenticated by professional grading companies are highly collectible. Their rarity has made them one of the most recognized modern mint varieties, with strong collector demand continuing years after their discovery. One of the biggest misconceptions surrounding this coin is the belief that every 2,000p Sacagawea dollar is worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. In reality, most circulated examples remain worth approximately their face value, while brilliant uncirculated coins generally sell for only a modest premium. The true value depends on factors such as condition, rarity, certification, and whether the coin possesses a recognized mint era or significant variety. That is why knowledgeable collectors always examine their coins carefully before reaching conclusions. Collectors also search for dramatic mint errors that occurred during production. An off-center strike happens when the blank planchet is not correctly positioned between the dies, causing part of the design to be missing. Depending on how far off-center the strike occurred while retaining the date, these errors can attract considerable collector interest. Another impressive mistake is the broad strike, where the restraining collar fails during striking, allowing the metal to spread beyond its normal shape. These unusual pieces stand out immediately because of their distorted appearance and often command premiums among era coin enthusiasts. Double strikes provide another fascinating chapter in this coin's story. In these cases, the coin receives two impressions instead of one because it fails to eject properly before another strike occurs. The second image may appear rotated, shifted, or partially overlapping the first. Genuine double-struck Sacagawea dollars are far scarcer than normal examples and can become valuable depending on the severity of the era and overall condition. Collectors appreciate these dramatic mistakes because every example is visually unique. Die cracks and die breaks also attract attention among specialists. As mint dies age through repeated use, tiny fractures sometimes develop, transferring raised lines onto the finished coin. Most are relatively minor and add only modest collector interest, but large retained cuds or dramatic die breaks can make an otherwise ordinary Sacagawea dollar much more desirable. These production characteristics provide fascinating insight into the intense manufacturing process inside the United States Mint. A fascinating mystery still surrounds another group of 2,000p Sacagawea dollars that collectors refer to as the experimental planchet dollars. Before the official release, the United States Mint tested several different metal combinations while searching for the perfect golden appearance. A very small number of these experimental coins escaped into private hands. Their weight, color, and metallic composition differ slightly from standard examples, making them extremely important to modern numismatics. Because these coins require advanced testing and professional authentication, collectors never assume they own one without expert verification. When confirmed, however, these experimental pieces have become some of the most valuable modern dollars ever offered to collectors. Another feature experienced collectors inspect immediately is the coin's surface quality. Although millions were struck, relatively few survived with flawless luster and almost no contact marks. Sacagawea dollars were produced mainly for circulation, meaning they spent years passing through banks, vending machines, cash registers, and countless pockets. Every small scratch, nick, or rub reduces a coin's grade. That is why an ordinary circulated coin may remain worth only $1, while an untouched mint state example certified at MS67, MS68, or even MS69 can sell for dramatically higher prices. Condition often matters just as much as rarity. Professional grading companies have transformed the modern coin market by giving collectors confidence in authenticity and quality. Organizations such as PCGS and NGC examine every detail under magnification before assigning a numerical grade. These experts evaluate strike sharpness, surface preservation, luster, and eye appeal. Once sealed inside a tamper-evident holder, the coin gains credibility among buyers and sellers alike. Many of the highest auction prices for Sacagawea dollars involve coins that have received exceptional grades from these respected services, proving that certification can significantly influence collector demand. The artistic beauty of this coin deserves just as much appreciation as its market value. Sculptor Glenna Goodacre created a portrait that captures Sacagawea's strength, determination, and quiet confidence without relying on dramatic symbolism. Her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, rests peacefully on her back, representing both family and the spirit of exploration. On the reverse, the soaring eagle designed by Thomas D. Rogers symbolizes freedom, courage, and the nation's ambitions as it entered a new century. Together, these designs transformed an ordinary circulating dollar into one of the most admired modern American coins. Many people wonder why they rarely receive Sacagawea dollars in everyday change despite the enormous number produced. The answer lies in public preference. Americans continued using $1 bills far more frequently than dollar coins, causing many Sacagawea dollars to remain stored in Federal Reserve vaults instead of circulating widely. This unusual situation created an interesting paradox. While millions exist, finding attractive examples in daily commerce became surprisingly uncommon. That scarcity in circulation has encouraged new collectors to examine every golden dollar they encounter. One exciting moment every collector dreams about begins with a simple glance at the date. Imagine opening an old coin jar, inherited collection, or forgotten bankroll and spotting the year 2000 beside the small Philadelphia P mintmark. Instead of spending it without a second thought, experienced collectors carefully inspect the eagle's feathers, the lettering, the rim, and the overall strike. A close examination under proper lighting can reveal subtle features invisible to the naked eye. Sometimes the smallest detail becomes the biggest discovery. Auction records have shown that ordinary coins and extraordinary coins can share exactly the same date and mint mark. The difference usually comes down to rarity, preservation, or a verified mint error. A normal circulated 2000p Sacagawea dollar generally remains close to face value. A brilliant uncirculated specimen may sell for a modest premium. A high-grade certified example can bring much stronger prices, while famous varieties like the Cheerios dollar or authenticated Wounded Eagle have reached thousands of dollars because collectors compete intensely for these elusive pieces. Knowledge, not luck alone, is what separates valuable finds from ordinary pocket change. Counterfeit and altered coins have also appeared as public interest in valuable Sacagawea dollars has increased. Some individuals attempt to imitate rare varieties by engraving lines or modifying the coin's surface. Others artificially color or polish coins to create a misleading appearance. Serious collectors avoid making expensive purchases without authentication because genuine mint errors display characteristics that cannot be reproduced easily outside the mint. Careful examination, proper certification, and patience remain the best protection against costly mistakes. As the years continue to pass, the 2000p Sacagawea dollar has earned a permanent place in American numismatic history. It represents a bold redesign, honors an extraordinary historical figure, and introduced one of the most famous modern coin varieties ever discovered. Whether your coin is worth $1 or thousands depends entirely on its condition, authenticity, and any verified mint characteristics. That uncertainty is exactly what keeps collectors searching through change, bankrolls, estate collections, and forgotten boxes every single day. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is far more valuable than anyone expects. Before you spend your next golden dollar, take one final look. The smallest detail could reveal a hidden variety, an overlooked mint error, or a beautifully preserved survivor waiting to be recognized by the collecting world. The search for rare coins never truly ends because remarkable discoveries continue to appear in the most unexpected places. Coin number 2. A single glance at this small silver-colored dollar could make any coin collector stop in their tracks. At first, the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar looks like an ordinary coin that many Americans once confused with a quarter because of its similar size and color. But hidden behind its simple appearance is one of the most fascinating stories in modern United States coin history. This was not just another dollar coin. It was the beginning of a bold experiment by the U.S. Mint to change the way Americans used money. While millions were produced, only certain examples with special varieties, outstanding condition, or genuine mint errors have become highly desirable among collectors. That is why experienced numismatists never overlook a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar without inspecting every detail. Long before this coin entered circulation, history was already waiting to be made. For the first time in American history, a real woman, not a symbolic figure like Liberty, would appear on a circulating U.S. coin. Susan B. Anthony was chosen because of her tireless work in the women's suffrage movement and her lifelong fight for equal voting rights. By honoring her on the dollar, the United States celebrated one of its most influential civil rights leaders. This historic decision transformed the coin into far more than a piece of currency. It became a symbol of determination, equality, and national progress that still carries historical significance decades later. The story becomes even more interesting when you understand why this dollar was created. During the late 1970s, the government wanted to reduce the high cost of printing $1 bills by encouraging Americans to use dollar coins instead. The Susan B. Anthony dollar replaced the Eisenhower dollar, which was much larger and heavier. Designers made the new coins smaller and lighter to improve convenience. Unfortunately, because its size closely resembled the Washington quarter, many people confused the two, leading to public frustration. As a result, the coin never achieved widespread popularity despite its remarkable historical importance. Hidden within the tiny letter beneath the date lies one of the most important clues for collectors. The P mint mark indicates that your coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most famous coin-producing facilities in the world. Before 1980, Philadelphia coins rarely displayed mint marks on circulating coinage, making the appearance of the P on this dollar especially notable. In 1979, Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of Susan B. Anthony dollars. Most entered circulation, but among this enormous production were a few remarkable varieties that would later capture the attention of collectors across the world. Now the real mystery begins, because not every 1979 P dollar was struck exactly the same way. Collectors quickly discovered two distinct rim varieties known today as the wide rim, near date, and the narrow rim, far date varieties. On the wide rim version, the date appears noticeably closer to the rim because the raised border is thicker. This variety was produced in much smaller numbers than the standard narrow rim coin, making it one of the most famous modern US dollar varieties. Although both coins share the same year and mint mark, the wide rim version is significantly more desirable, especially in high mint state grades. One tiny difference can completely change a collector's excitement. Many people unknowingly spend a wide rim Susan B. Anthony dollar because they never notice the subtle spacing around the date. Experienced collectors, however, examine this feature immediately. The wide rim variety represents one of the easiest modern US coin varieties to identify without advanced equipment. When preserved in brilliant uncirculated condition and professionally certified, these coins often command much stronger prices than ordinary examples. It proves that even the smallest design variation can dramatically influence collector demand. The artistic design of this dollar deserves far more recognition than it usually receives. The obverse features Susan B. Anthony facing right, surrounded by the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. On the reverse appears an eagle landing on the moon while holding an olive branch, surrounded by stars. This reverse was adapted from the Apollo 11 mission insignia, celebrating one of America's greatest achievements in space exploration. Together, the designs unite two extraordinary stories, one honoring the struggle for equal rights on Earth, and the other celebrating humanity's journey beyond it. The coin may not contain silver, even though its appearance often suggests otherwise. Many first-time collectors mistakenly believe the Susan B. Anthony dollar is made from precious metal because of its bright silver color. In reality, regular circulation coins are composed of a copper core bonded to outer layers of copper nickel. This durable composition gave the coin strength for everyday use while keeping production costs low. Understanding the coin's actual composition helps collectors avoid one of the most common misconceptions surrounding this fascinating dollar. The true adventure begins when collectors start searching for genuine mint errors. During the high-speed minting process, machines occasionally produced unusual mistakes that escaped into circulation. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, double strikes, and wrong planchet errors all exist for the 1979p Susan B. Anthony dollar, although they are genuinely scarce. These mint-produced errors are entirely different from damage caused after the coin entered circulation. When authenticated by professional grading services, dramatic mint errors can attract strong collector interest because each one tells the unique story of an unexpected moment inside the United States Mint. Just when collectors think they have seen everything, another hidden detail changes the entire story. Among the most exciting discoveries for specialists are doubled die varieties, where parts of the design or lettering appear slightly doubled because of the way the working die was created. Genuine doubled dies are far different from ordinary machine doubling, which usually adds little value. Under magnification, authentic doubled dies reveal clear separation in letters or numbers and become highly collectible because they represent a mistake made before thousands of coins were struck. Finding a verified doubled die Susan B. Anthony dollar is a thrilling moment that reminds collectors why every coin deserves a closer look. Imagine holding a coin that escaped the mint with a mistake no employee noticed. Off-center strikes remain among the most dramatic mint errors known for the 1979p dollar. These errors occur when the blank planchet is not perfectly centered between the dies before striking, causing part of the design to be missing. The farther off-center the strike is, while still showing the complete date and mint mark, the greater the interest from collectors. Every off-center coin is unique, making these fascinating mistakes miniature works of accidental art created during the minting process. Sometimes the machinery itself tells the story. As mint dies strike hundreds of thousands of coins, tiny fractures eventually begin to form. These cracks transfer raised lines onto the finished coin, creating what collectors call die cracks. Most are small and subtle, but occasionally they grow into large die breaks that dramatically alter the coin's appearance. Rather than being considered damage, these raised lines prove the coin was struck with a worn die inside the mint. Large die breaks are eagerly sought because they document the natural life cycle of minting equipment. Another spectacular error appears when the restraining collar fails during striking. Without the collar holding the metal in place, the planchet expands beyond its normal size, creating what collectors call a broad strike. These coins lack their normal raised edge and often appear noticeably larger than standard examples. Because broad strikes are easy to recognize and impossible to duplicate naturally after leaving the mint, authenticated examples continue attracting attention from error coin enthusiasts around the world. The excitement reaches another level when a coin receives more than one strike. Known as a double-struck error, this dramatic mistake happens when the coin fails to eject before another strike occurs. The second impression may overlap, rotate, or shift dramatically, creating an unforgettable appearance. No two double-struck coins are exactly alike, making each one a one-of-a-kind collectible. These remarkable mint errors are among the most visually impressive pieces that modern collectors dream of finding. Perhaps the rarest surprises involve coins struck on the wrong metal altogether. Occasionally, a blank intended for another denomination accidentally enters the dollar coin production line. When struck with Susan B. Anthony dollar dies, the resulting coin may differ in size, weight, or color from a normal example. These wrong planchet errors are extremely scarce and always require professional authentication because of their importance and value. Genuine examples have become prized treasures within the error collecting community, proving that even a single manufacturing mistake can create numismatic history. Condition often separates an ordinary dollar from an extraordinary collectible. Although hundreds of millions of 1979p Susan B. Anthony dollars were produced, relatively few survived in nearly flawless condition. Contact marks from bags, counting machines, and circulation quickly affected most coins. Professional grading services carefully examine every scratch, mark, and detail before assigning a numerical grade. Coins graded MS66, MS67, or higher become increasingly difficult to locate, and this scarcity significantly increases collector demand compared with average circulated pieces. Many newcomers believe every old coin automatically carries enormous value, but experienced collectors know the truth is far more fascinating. A standard circulated 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is generally worth close to its face value. However, exceptional mint state examples, authenticated wide rim varieties, and dramatic verified mint errors can command substantially higher prices because of their rarity and collector appeal. The market rewards originality, preservation, and authenticity, not simply age alone. That understanding is what transforms casual coin holders into knowledgeable collectors. One question continues to echo through the collecting world. Could another hidden treasure still be waiting in circulation? The answer is surprisingly encouraging. While the rarest varieties become harder to find each year, unopened bank rolls, inherited collections, forgotten drawers, and old coin jars continue revealing unexpected discoveries. Every 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar deserves a careful examination because history has already shown that remarkable varieties can remain unnoticed for decades. Sometimes, the next exciting discovery begins with nothing more than an ordinary-looking dollar hiding in plain sight. The greatest discoveries rarely announce themselves. They hide in plain sight until a careful collector notices something extraordinary. That is exactly what continues to make the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar so exciting decades after its release. Every year, collectors search through inherited collections, old cash drawers, forgotten piggy banks, and unopened bank rolls, hoping to uncover a wide rim variety, an unusual mint error, or an exceptionally preserved mint state example. The thrill is not simply about money. It is about discovering a small piece of American history that survived unnoticed while millions of others were spent without a second thought. Professional authentication has become one of the most important steps in today's coin market. A valuable-looking coin should never be judged by appearance alone because many forms of damage can resemble mint errors. Leading grading services carefully examine the metal, strike, surfaces, weight, and microscopic characteristics before confirming authenticity. Once a genuine rarity is certified, collectors gain confidence in its originality, making it much easier to buy, sell, or preserve. In the world of modern numismatics, authenticity often matters just as much as rarity itself. Collectors also understand that patience is one of the most valuable tools they own. Not every exciting coin is discovered in a single afternoon, and not every search ends with a rare variety. Yet history has repeatedly shown that remarkable finds often appear where people least expect them. Estate collections, family albums, old bank envelopes, forgotten safety deposit boxes, and decades-old coin jars have all produced important discoveries. Every search teaches new lessons, and every coin examined adds experience that cannot be purchased. The market for Susan B. Anthony dollars has changed dramatically over the years. When these coins first circulated, many Americans ignored them or stored them away because they preferred paper dollar bills. Today, those same coins have become the focus of specialists who appreciate their historical importance and fascinating varieties. While ordinary circulated examples usually remain worth close to face value, certified high-grade coins, genuine wide-rim varieties, and significant mint errors continue attracting strong collector demand. Their appeal grows not because every coin is rare, but because truly exceptional examples become harder to locate as time passes. One fascinating fact separates experienced collectors from beginners: they never clean their coins. A polished or chemically cleaned Susan B. Anthony dollar may appear brighter to the untrained eye, but collectors recognize that cleaning permanently alters the original surface. Even a rare variety can lose much of its desirability if its natural finish has been damaged. Original luster, untouched surfaces, and honest preservation are qualities that experienced numismatists value far more than artificial shine. Every mark on this coin tells part of its remarkable journey. Some coins spent years moving through vending machines, grocery stores, banks, and cash registers across America. Others remained untouched in government storage or private collections for decades. A few escaped the mint with fascinating production errors that transformed them into modern collectibles. Together, These different stories explain why two coins with the same date and mint mark can have completely different values in today's collector market. Behind every valuable coin is knowledge, not luck alone. Successful collectors study minting techniques, die varieties, grading standards, and historical production records before making important decisions. They compare tiny design details, inspect lettering under magnification, and learn to recognize the difference between genuine mint-made characteristics and ordinary post-mint damage. This careful approach turns coin collecting into both an educational adventure and a lifelong passion filled with constant discoveries. The legacy of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar extends far beyond its purchasing power. It introduced the first circulating U.S. coin to honor a real American woman, represented an ambitious attempt to modernize everyday currency, and produced one of the most famous modern varieties, the wide rim. Although it was initially misunderstood by the public, history has treated the coin far more kindly. Today it stands as an important chapter in American numismatic history and remains a favorite among collectors who appreciate both its symbolism and its hidden rarities. Perhaps the next incredible discovery is already sitting inside your own collection without you realizing it. Before spending any 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, inspect the rim, the date spacing, the lettering, the eagle, and the overall strike. Compare it carefully with known varieties and watch for genuine mint errors rather than ordinary wear. Most coins will be common, but every collector knows that remarkable discoveries begin with a simple moment of curiosity. The next coin you examine could become the highlight of your collection if it possesses a verified variety or exceptional preservation. As this incredible journey through the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar comes to an end, remember that every coin carries a story waiting to be uncovered. Some tell stories of history, others reveal unexpected minting mistakes, and a select few become treasured collectibles because they survived in extraordinary condition. Whether your coin is worth $1 or considerably more depends on its authenticity, rarity, condition, and recognized varieties, not on rumors or internet myths. Keep searching, keep learning, and never stop looking closely at the coins that pass through your hands. Step 3. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a golden dollar, and almost spending it without a second thought. That ordinary-looking coin could actually be the 2001 Sacagawea golden dollar, a piece of American history that many people overlook every single day. While millions were struck for circulation, collectors know that some examples stand far above the rest because of exceptional condition, fascinating mint errors, and rare varieties. The excitement surrounding this coin does not come from myths or rumors. It comes from the possibility that an ordinary dollar could become an extraordinary collectible when the right characteristics come together. When the United States Mint introduced the Sacagawea dollar in 2000, officials hoped Americans would finally embrace the dollar coin. By 2001, production continued at full speed, and the Philadelphia Mint proudly struck millions of these beautiful golden dollars bearing the P mint mark beneath the date. Unlike earlier dollar coins that struggled to gain public acceptance, the Sacagawea dollar carried a fresh design, a warm golden appearance, and a powerful historical message. Even though it circulated only in limited numbers compared with paper dollars, it quickly earned respect among collectors who admired both its beauty and its symbolism. Few coins tell such a meaningful story through their artwork. The obverse features Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman whose courage and knowledge helped guide the Lewis and Clark expedition across unknown lands. Resting securely on her back is her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, creating one of the most recognizable and inspiring images ever placed on an American circulating coin. Rather than portraying military power or political leadership, this design celebrates guidance, family, survival, and the spirit of exploration. That emotional connection is one reason why the Sacagawea dollar remains one of the most admired modern U.S. coin designs. Turn the coin over, and another remarkable symbol appears. A majestic eagle flies upward with wings fully extended, surrounded by 17 stars representing the states that formed the young nation during the Lewis and Clark expedition. The inscriptions United States of America, EPLUBUSUNUM, and $1 complete a reverse that perfectly balances strength with freedom. Every detail was carefully engraved to remind Americans that exploration, courage, and opportunity have always been part of the nation's identity. One of the biggest surprises about this golden dollar is that it contains no real gold at all. Its brilliant color comes from a manganese brass alloy bonded over a pure copper core, giving the coin its famous golden appearance while maintaining durability for everyday circulation. Many first-time collectors mistakenly believe the coin is made from precious metal because of its rich color, but its true value lies not in gold content. It lies in rarity, condition, and the unique stories created during the minting process. Although the Philadelphia Mint produced a large number of 2001p Sacagawea dollars, collectors understand that quantity alone never tells the whole story. Most examples entered circulation and collected scratches, bag marks, and signs of everyday use. Only a relatively small number survived with brilliant original luster and almost flawless surfaces. These high-grade survivors have become increasingly desirable because modern collectors compete for the finest certified examples available. As the population of top-quality coins remains limited, demand for exceptional pieces continues to grow. The moment experienced collectors receive a 2001p Sacagawea dollar, they immediately begin searching for unusual characteristics. Every letter, feather, star, rim, and date receives careful attention under bright light and magnification. Tiny differences invisible to the average person can sometimes reveal a genuine mint variety or production error. This careful examination transforms a simple $1 coin into a fascinating mystery waiting to be solved, proving that patience often rewards those willing to look beyond the obvious. Among the most exciting discoveries are genuine mint errors created during production. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, die chips, and occasional double strikes all occurred in limited numbers during the minting process. Unlike damage that happens after a coin leaves the mint, these errors originated inside the coining presses themselves. Every authentic mint error tells the story of an unexpected moment in production, making each example unique and highly interesting to specialists who collect modern era coins. Perhaps the greatest lesson this coin teaches is that appearance alone never determines value. Two 2001p Sacagawea dollars may look almost identical to an untrained eye, yet one could be worth only face value while another becomes highly collectible because of a verified mint era, outstanding preservation, or a rare die variety. That mystery keeps collectors searching through change, bank rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten coin jars every single day. Hoping the next golden dollar they examine will reveal something extraordinary. The real excitement begins where ordinary eyes stop looking. Hidden among millions of 2001p Sacagawea dollars are genuine mint errors that have fascinated collectors for years. During the high-speed striking process at the Philadelphia Mint, machines occasionally produced coins with unexpected mistakes. These were not created intentionally, nor could they be repeated on demand. Every authentic mint error represents a unique moment inside the mint, making these coins miniature historical records preserved in metal. That is why experienced collectors carefully inspect every golden dollar before deciding whether it is ordinary or something truly special. One of the most dramatic discoveries is the off-center strike. This error occurs when the blank planchet is not perfectly aligned inside the coining press before the dies strike it. The result is a coin with part of the design missing and a blank crescent-shaped area along one side. The farther off-center the strike is, while still showing the complete date and mint mark, the greater its appeal to collectors. Every off-center error is different, making each one a one-of-a-kind collectible that captures the excitement of a rare manufacturing mistake. Sometimes the coin escapes the press without its proper shape. This fascinating error is known as a broad strike. Normally, a steel collar surrounds the coin during striking to form its final diameter and edge. If that collar fails to engage correctly, the metal spreads outward beyond its normal size. Broad-struck Sacagawea dollars often appear flatter and slightly wider than regular examples, because this error happens inside the mint. Certified broad strikes remain highly collectible among enthusiasts who specialize in modern mint mistakes. Even the strongest steel dies eventually show signs of exhaustion. After striking hundreds of thousands of coins, microscopic cracks can develop across the die surface. These fractures produce raised lines on the finished coin known as die cracks. Most remain small and subtle, but occasionally they expand into dramatic die breaks or raised cuds that completely change the coin's appearance. These natural signs of die fatigue allow collectors to trace the life of a minting die, making every crack another chapter in the coin's manufacturing history. Another thrilling discovery occurs when a coin receives two impressions instead of one. Known as a double-struck error, this happens when the coin fails to eject properly before the press cycles again. The second strike may overlap the first, rotate in a different direction, or shift dramatically across the surface. No two double-struck coins are exactly alike, making them some of the most visually impressive modern mint errors. When authenticated by professional grading companies, these unusual pieces often attract strong collector interest because of their dramatic appearance. One of the rarest possibilities involves the wrong metal altogether. On extremely rare occasions, a blank intended for another denomination accidentally enters the Sacagawea dollar production line. The result is a wrong planchet error, where the finished coin may appear smaller, lighter, or completely different in color than expected. These errors are exceptionally scarce and always require professional authentication because of their importance. When genuine, they become prized centerpieces in advanced collections and demonstrate just how complex the minting process can be. Condition often tells the biggest story of all. Although millions of 2001p Sacagawea dollars were struck, only a fraction survived with nearly perfect surfaces and original mint luster. Most circulation coins quickly developed contact marks from bags, counting machines, and everyday handling. Collectors prize examples graded MS67, MS68, or higher because finding such pristine coins becomes increasingly difficult each year. In modern coin collecting, preservation can transform an otherwise common date into a highly sought-after collectible. Many people ask whether every 2001p Sacagawea dollar is valuable simply because it is more than 20 years old. The honest answer is no. Most circulated examples remain worth about $1. However, brilliant uncirculated coins, top-certified mint state pieces, and authenticated mint errors can sell for substantially higher amounts depending on rarity and demand. The market rewards originality, exceptional quality, and verified mint-made characteristics, not age alone. This understanding separates informed collectors from those who rely on exaggerated stories. Every collector dreams of the moment when an ordinary-looking coin reveals an extraordinary secret. That dream continues to drive thousands of people to search through pocket change, inherited collections, bank rolls, and forgotten coin albums. While remarkable discoveries are uncommon, history has proven they do happen. The next golden dollar you examine may simply be another circulation coin, or it could be the piece that completes someone's collection. That possibility is what keeps the hunt alive and makes every 2001p Sacagawea dollar worth a careful second look. Every legendary collection begins with a single coin that someone else overlooked. The 2001p Sacagawea dollar has earned a respected place in modern American numismatics because it combines historical significance, artistic beauty, and the possibility of genuine mint-made surprises. While millions were produced, the number of truly exceptional examples continues to shrink as more coins enter collections or suffer years of circulation wear. This growing scarcity of premium quality pieces keeps collectors searching with excitement year after year. The smartest collectors never rely on appearance alone, they rely on authentication. A coin may look unusual, but only careful examination can determine whether it is a genuine mint error or ordinary damage that occurred after leaving the mint. Professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC evaluate the coin's weight, dimensions, strike quality, surface preservation, and authenticity before assigning a numerical grade. Once certified and sealed, the coin becomes trusted throughout the collecting community, giving buyers and sellers confidence in exactly what they own. One mistake that experienced collectors never make is cleaning their coins. A polished Sacagawea dollar might appear brighter, but cleaning permanently removes the original mint surface that collectors value most. Hairline scratches, unnatural shine, and altered color can reduce both desirability and market value. Even a scarce mint era may lose collector interest if its original surfaces have been damaged. Preserving a coin exactly as it was found is often the wisest decision any collector can make. Another reason this coin continues attracting attention is its connection to American history. Sacagawea was more than a guide for the Lewis and Clark expedition. She became a lasting symbol of courage, resilience, and peaceful cooperation. Every time collectors study this coin, they are reminded that U.S. coinage can honor people whose contributions shaped the nation's future. That historical meaning gives the 2001 dollar value beyond the marketplace, making it both a collectible and a tribute to an extraordinary life. The market for modern dollars has changed dramatically over the past 2 decades. Coins that were once set aside without much interest are now being carefully examined by a new generation of collectors. Registry-set competition, certified high-grade collections, and increasing appreciation for modern mint eras have created stronger demand for exceptional Sacagawea dollars. Although ordinary circulated examples remain common, coins with verified eras, spectacular eye appeal, or nearly flawless grades continue to stand apart from the rest. Perhaps the most exciting truth about this coin is that remarkable discoveries are still possible. Collectors continue finding impressive examples in unopened bank rolls, estate collections, forgotten desk drawers, and family coin albums. Every discovery reminds the numismatic community that valuable collector pieces do not always appear at auctions first. Sometimes they wait quietly for years until someone with patience and knowledge recognizes their importance. That sense of possibility keeps the search alive every single day. Knowledge will always be more valuable than rumors. Many stories claim that every old dollar coin is worth a fortune, but experienced collectors understand that value depends on verified factors such as condition, rarity, mint eras, varieties, and professional authentication. Learning how to identify these characteristics transforms an ordinary hobby into an exciting journey of discovery. Every coin examined adds experience, and every lesson makes the next search even more rewarding. As time continues to pass, fewer untouched examples remain available. Coins once carried in pockets now show signs of wear, while pristine specimens become increasingly difficult to locate. This gradual decline in top-quality survivors makes certified mint state examples especially desirable among serious collectors. Although most 2001 Sacagawea dollars remain worth their face value, those preserved in outstanding condition continue attracting premium attention because true quality becomes rarer with each passing year. The next time a golden dollar appears in your hand, pause before spending it. Examine the mint mark, inspect the eagle, study the rim, and look carefully for unusual features that could indicate a genuine mint variety or production error. Most coins will simply be ordinary circulation pieces, but history has shown that remarkable discoveries often begin with an ordinary-looking coin that everyone else ignored. Every careful inspection is another chance to uncover something special hiding in plain sight. And now the hunt continues with you. The 2001 Sacagawea golden dollar represents more than a single dollar. It represents history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of collecting. Whether your coin proves to be an everyday example or an authenticated rarity, every search deepens your understanding of America's modern coinage. Keep learning, keep searching, and never stop examining the small details, because that is where the greatest discoveries are made. Last one, what if one of the most overlooked dollar coins in America was quietly hiding a collector's secret? The 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar rarely attracts attention from the average person. Many people mistake it for a quarter, while others toss it into a drawer without another thought. Yet among experienced collectors, this silver-colored dollar tells an incredible story of history, changing public opinion, and the constant search for rare mint-made treasures. Although millions were produced at the Denver Mint, only a small percentage possess the combination of outstanding preservation, genuine mint errors, or unusual striking characteristics that make collectors stop and look twice. Every 1980 dollar has a story, but only a few become unforgettable. Before understanding its value, it's important to understand why this coin even exists. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 after the United States Mint searched for a smaller replacement for the bulky Eisenhower dollar. Officials hoped Americans would adopt a lightweight dollar coin for everyday commerce, reducing the cost of printing paper currency. The 1980 issue represented the second production year of this historic series. Although public acceptance remained limited, the coin continued to circulate, leaving behind a fascinating chapter in modern American coinage that collectors appreciate far more today than when it first appeared. The woman featured on this coin changed American history long before her portrait appeared on metal. Susan B. Anthony devoted her life to fighting for women's voting rights and equal opportunities. Her determination helped inspire generations seeking equality under the law. When the United States honored her on a circulating coin, it became the first time an actual American woman, not a symbolic representation of liberty, appeared on everyday U.S. currency. This historic achievement gives the 1980 dollar importance that extends far beyond its face value. One tiny letter below the date reveals where this remarkable coin was born. The D mintmark identifies the Denver Mint, one of America's busiest coin-producing facilities. During 1980, Denver struck millions of Susan B. Anthony dollars with impressive consistency. Most entered circulation, where they experienced years of wear from banks, vending machines, and daily transactions. However, hidden among this enormous production were coins displaying unusual striking characteristics, exceptional quality, or genuine mint errors that later attracted the attention of serious numismatists. At first glance, the coin appears simple, but every design element carries meaning. The obverse displays Susan B. Anthony facing right, surrounded by the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date. Turn the coin over, and you'll find an eagle descending toward the moon while holding an olive branch. This reverse design was inspired by the Apollo 11 mission insignia, connecting one of America's greatest achievements in civil rights with one of its greatest achievements in space exploration. Few modern coins combine two such powerful historical themes in a single design. One of the biggest misunderstandings about this dollar concerns its metal. Because of its bright silver appearance, many people believe the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar contains silver. In reality, standard circulation coins are struck using a copper core bonded between outer layers of copper nickel. There is no precious silver content in regular circulation pieces. Instead, collector value depends on rarity, condition, verified mint errors, and certified preservation rather than the intrinsic value of the metal itself. The condition of a coin often tells a more important story than its age. Millions of 1980 dollars were stored in heavy mint bags, where constant contact with neighboring coins created tiny nicks and scratches even before circulation began. Once released into commerce, additional wear reduced the number of high-quality survivors. Today, collectors search for coins that retain brilliant original mint luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks. Examples certified in outstanding mint state grades become increasingly difficult to locate, making them much more desirable than average circulated pieces. Every experienced collector knows that the hunt truly begins under magnification. Tiny details invisible to the naked eye can sometimes reveal fascinating production anomalies. A slightly unusual rim, unexpected die crack, or striking irregularity may transform an ordinary-looking coin into an important collectible. Careful examination under proper lighting allows specialists to separate ordinary circulation wear from genuine mint-produced characteristics. This patient approach has led to countless discoveries that casual observers would never notice. The greatest excitement surrounding the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar comes from the possibility that something unusual escaped the mint unnoticed. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, double strikes, and other verified mint errors have all been documented within the Susan B. Anthony series. While these errors are uncommon, they remind collectors that even in a highly controlled production environment, unexpected mistakes occasionally occur. Those authentic mint-made errors continue fascinating collectors because every one represents a unique moment in the history of American coin production. Now the real mystery begins, because the most valuable discoveries are often hidden where almost nobody thinks to look. Every genuine mint error tells the story of an unexpected moment inside the Denver Mint, where massive presses were striking thousands of coins every hour. Although quality control was extremely strict, a small number of coins escaped with fascinating production mistakes. These are the coins that modern-era collectors eagerly search for, because each one represents a piece of minting history that can never be duplicated. One of the most dramatic errors collectors hope to find is an off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet shifts out of position before it is struck by the dies. Instead of receiving a perfectly centered design, part of the coin remains blank while the rest of the design is pushed toward one side. The value of these errors often depends on how dramatic the shift is and whether the date and mint mark remain visible. Since every off-center strike is unique, collectors appreciate them as one-of-a-kind examples of genuine mint mistakes. Another fascinating error appears when the collar fails to do its job during striking. Known as a broad strike, this error allows the metal to spread beyond its normal diameter because the restraining collar never fully surrounds the planchet. The result is a coin that appears wider, flatter, and missing its normal edge definition. Broad-struck Susan B. Anthony dollars immediately catch the eye because they look noticeably different from ordinary coins. When certified as genuine, they remain popular among collectors specializing in mint errors. Sometimes the dies themselves begin revealing signs of age and fatigue. After striking hundreds of thousands of coins, tiny fractures can form across the die surface. These fractures create raised lines on the finished coins known as die cracks. While small die cracks are relatively common, larger die breaks or retained cuds are much scarcer and attract greater collector interest. These raised features are permanent evidence of the tremendous pressure involved in the minting process and allow collectors to study how coining dies gradually wear out over time. Few mint errors create as much excitement as a double strike. Imagine a coin failing to leave the striking chamber before the press comes down again. The second impression may overlap the first, rotate at a different angle, or create an extraordinary distorted design. Every double-struck coin is completely unique because no two mistakes happen exactly the same way. These spectacular errors often become centerpiece items in modern-era collections due to their dramatic appearance and undeniable authenticity. Perhaps the rarest surprises involve the wrong metal altogether. On extremely unusual occasions, a blank intended for another denomination accidentally enters the dollar coin press. The finished result is called a wrong planchet error. These coins may differ in size, weight, thickness, or color compared with normal Susan B. Anthony dollars. Because these pieces are exceptionally rare, they require professional authentication before collectors recognize their significance. Verified examples have become prized trophies in advanced numismatic collections. Not every unusual-looking coin is actually a mint error. Coins that have been damaged after leaving the mint may display scratches, dents, flattened rims, or altered surfaces that can easily fool beginners. Experienced collectors learn to distinguish genuine mint-made characteristics from post-mint damage by studying strike patterns, metal flow, and surface texture. This knowledge protects collectors from costly mistakes and helps them recognize truly important discoveries when they appear. Condition continues to play an enormous role in determining collector value. Most 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollars entered circulation, where years of handling gradually reduced their original brilliance. High-grade mint state examples with sharp details, full luster, and minimal contact marks are much more difficult to locate today than many people realize. Coins certified as MS66, MS67, or higher often attract far greater attention than ordinary circulated pieces because outstanding preservation becomes increasingly scarce over time. Many people ask whether their 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar could be worth a fortune. The answer depends entirely on its individual characteristics. Most circulated examples remain close to face value, while attractive uncirculated coins may carry a modest premium. However, authenticated mint errors, exceptional certified grades, and unusual striking varieties can bring significantly stronger prices because collectors compete for the finest and most unusual examples. The true value always depends on rarity, condition, authenticity, and collector demand, not simply the year printed on the coin. The greatest coin discoveries often begin with a simple question: what if this ordinary dollar isn't ordinary at all? That single thought has inspired collectors for decades to examine every 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar that passes through their hands. Most coins tell the story of everyday commerce, but a select few reveal extraordinary minting mistakes, remarkable preservation, or hidden characteristics that transform them into true collector favorites. The excitement lies in never knowing which coin might become the next important discovery. Professional authentication is one of the most valuable tools available to serious collectors. A coin may appear unusual because of wear, damage, or cleaning, but only careful examination by respected grading companies such as PCGS or NGC can confirm whether it is a genuine mint error or an exceptionally preserved example. These experts evaluate the strike, surfaces, weight, dimensions, and originality before assigning a numerical grade. Certified coins are trusted throughout the numismatic community, making them easier to buy, sell, insure, and preserve for future generations. One mistake can permanently reduce a coin's collector appeal, and that mistake is cleaning it. Many people believe polishing an old coin increases its value, but experienced collectors know the opposite is true. Cleaning removes the original mint surface and often leaves tiny hairline scratches that cannot be reversed. Even if a coin possesses a genuine mint error, harsh cleaning may significantly reduce its desirability. The safest approach is always to leave the coin exactly as it was found and seek professional advice before attempting any restoration. As years pass, the finest examples quietly become harder to find. While millions of 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollars were struck, relatively few remain in pristine mint state condition with full luster and minimal contact marks. Time naturally reduces the number of outstanding survivors as coins continue circulating, become damaged, or disappear into private collections. This gradual decline in top-quality examples explains why collectors are willing to pay stronger premiums for certified coins that stand out from the average population. The collecting community has developed a deeper appreciation for modern coins than ever before. Decades ago, many collectors focused almost entirely on 19th-century silver and gold coins. Today, modern U.S. coinage, including the Susan B. Anthony dollar, has earned growing respect because of its historical significance, fascinating mint varieties, and documented production errors. Registry-set competition and advanced grading standards have encouraged collectors to search for the very best examples, creating renewed interest in coins that were once overlooked. Knowledge remains the greatest treasure any collector can own. Successful numismatists study minting technology, grading standards, die varieties, and historical production records before making important decisions. They understand that rumors and exaggerated stories often spread quickly, but genuine value always depends on verifiable facts. By learning how coins are made and how authentic errors occur, collectors dramatically increase their chances of recognizing an important discovery when it appears. Every 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar carries a unique journey. Some spent years moving through grocery stores, vending machines, and banks across the United States. Others remained untouched inside original mint rolls or family collections. A fortunate few escaped the mint with striking errors that transformed them into remarkable collectibles. These different paths explain why two coins with the same date and mint mark can have completely different levels of collector interest today. Perhaps your next exciting discovery is already waiting inside an old coin jar, inherited collection, or forgotten drawer. Before spending any 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar, take a closer look. Study the mint mark, inspect the lettering, examine the eagle, and watch for unusual strike characteristics. Most examples will be ordinary circulation coins, but history has shown that genuine mint eras and exceptional high-grade pieces can remain hidden for decades before finally being recognized. The story of the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar is ultimately a story of history, perseverance, and discovery. Although the series was never widely embraced by the public during its circulation years, collectors have given it new life by appreciating its historical importance and searching for its rarest examples. Whether your coin is worth $1 or considerably more depends on its authenticity, condition, and any verified mint-made characteristics, not on internet rumors or unrealistic claims. That mystery is exactly what keeps the world of coin collecting exciting. As this collector's journey comes to an end, remember that every coin has the potential to teach something new. Some reveal remarkable minting mistakes, others preserve history in brilliant condition, and a few become prized treasures because they combine rarity with exceptional quality. Keep learning, keep searching, and never overlook the smallest details, because that is where the greatest discoveries are often found. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Rare Coins News for more hidden mint eras, valuable US coin discoveries, collector alerts, and fascinating numismatic history. The next legendary coin could already be waiting in your pocket.